Hi. Hi, butterflies. So I am going to turn my phone around to my tablet, and I want you to pay attention, listen to what you're about to hear, because what you're about to hear is knowledge. What you're about to hear, you're going to need to know. It deals with everything that we're going through right now in this date and time. And I need you to pay attention. Listen with your ears. Get all the other distractions out of your way and get ready to pay attention. Okay? Anytime we start having celebrities talk about the mayhem, the corruptness that's going on in the United States, we need to pay attention. Not just because they're making noise, but normally you wouldn't be hearing them say anything. So let me make sure this volume's up because I want you to hear what she's saying. Yes, you're going to hear a lady. She's going to be talking. I need you to pay attention. I need you to listen very, very carefully to what she's saying. I'm probably going to have to play this over again. Okay? Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Archer Charlotte, also known as For Not Forgotten Ministry. And happy Wednesday to y'all. Now, like I said, I'm about to.
You went viral for. You went viral.
Play you. It's it's 9 o'clock here, so hello to you too. So if you sit and listen to this now, just listen to what you're about to hear. Okay? It's very important. It's very informative, and you need to know. Okay? All right. Let's get the show on the road. I'm going to put my phone in front of my tablet. I want you to pay attention to what she is saying. Ask yourself, does this make sense? Okay? Okay. Yeah, you can see that.
For laying out 10 steps to autocracy. Run us through those steps so we all know.
Okay, so this happens in every nation that has become an autocracy, having been a democracy. So whether we're talking about Brazil with Bolsonaro, or India, or Putin and Russia, the Philippines with Duterte. So start with winning an election.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the last one you're going to get to have for real. Number two, you have an expansion of executive power. The president decides he wants more than he's supposed to have. Number three, you start to make the Congress complicit. So you weaken them and you neutralize or neuter the judiciary. Like, oh, I don't know, the Supreme Court is giving you unfettered power and saying we don't have the ability to stop things. Then you move on to firing all of the people who know how to make government work. So you gut the civil service. And you do that because you want to break democracy so people forget the stuff that used to get done. So you can't get your Social Security check. So the CDC doesn't know what diseases are anymore. Mm-hmm. Then you put in place these loyalists, people who are only responsive to you. You put them in charge of the FBI so they go after your enemies. You put them in charge of the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, so they can signal to their friends and tell them all about the evil plans that you have. Then you make certain that you break how we communicate.
Here we
You
go.
to
Sorry.
someone. You have to blame people for the broken
I'm
government,
sorry.
for
I'm
the broken
sorry.
promises. So you go after DEI. You go after the vulnerable, the dispossessed. You go after any community that doesn't look like what you think power should be. While you're doing that, you make certain that you, in step 8, you eliminate anybody who can help them. So you sue law firms that do pro bono cases. You go after philanthropies and accuse them of giving money to the wrong people. You go after colleges and universities that can teach people possibly what else they should know. You get to step 9 and you start to encourage and incentivize private violence. You send the US Marines into spaces they should not be. You send the National Guard in. You kidnap people off of the streets and pretend that's normal, because that's how you quiet dissent. Because you make everyone afraid that if they don't do what you want, they might be next. And once you've done those 9 steps, step 10 is easy. That's when you decide there won't be new elections, because everyone's either afraid, poor, broken, or complicit.
Okay. Wow. Well, while you have the ear of the people right now and on their television sets, what is it that they can do to help avoid this and make a change in this?
Thank you. So I want to give credit to Kim Sheppel, who is a professor at Princeton. She came up with a framework. I've adapted it and potentially editorialized it more than she did. But I also want to give credit to the Robert F. Kennedy Foundation, not the lesser successor, but the real guy. We can fight back. We can remember that we do have power. They don't want dissent, so protest. They want us to forget that before we had power, we had each other. So when they break democracy, when they break the Social Security system, when they slash SNAP benefits and Medicaid, make sure you're checking on your neighbors. Make sure we're using them, but also tell the truth. Do not let the propaganda win. Too often they tell a lie. They will tell a lie so often it sounds like the truth. We say the truth one time, and when people don't applaud, we stop talking. We've got to keep telling the truth, not only to push back against them, but to remind us that we are entitled to the truth. We have to believe that freedom of assembly means it's more than just going to protest. It's the ability to be friends with people who aren't like you. And we have to stop believing that we are in this alone. The most effective thing they do is isolate us. They convince us that you and I don't have any common cause, and we certainly don't have common cause with someone who has a different history than we do. When we hold to our truth, when we actually believe in ourselves and our people, when we believe in democracy as something that must deliver, that's when we start to fight back, and that's when they lose. They win when we are too numb or too afraid to act.
All right.
Okay. So, what do you think? Arthur High. She said some important information, some true information, and I think we all need to take that in. Okay? Need to take that in, and we need to apply it. If you're someone and you're on my live and you are standing with that president that y'all put in that black house in Washington, D.C., you might not want to be on here, because you might just catch some of my Holy Ghost. You just might. But, yeah, what she said is true. What she said is very true. And I stand with her on that, because it is true and it makes a lot of sense. All that this little crybaby man that's in that black house over there is doing is trying to make people afraid. Trying to make people afraid. But I beg to differ, because I serve a God I fear. I don't fear no crybaby that's in the black house. But I do fear my God. And he's not God. He's going to have to answer to my God, but he's not God. Amen. So, I don't know who's going to be on here because I got to run upstairs and put my grandbabies down, put them in the bed. But I'm going to come back and try to get me, I'm trying to watch because I'm trying not to put a lot of sugar in my system anymore. So I would like a nice cup of tea. Maybe I will have a cup of tea, but very little sugar. So if you are a true ride or die with me, then you'll be here. It's time to take a little recess break. That means go and grab something to eat, grab something to drink, but come back here. So I'll be back. See you if you're here. If nobody's here and I get back here, that's fine. I'm not going to be mad. I'm just going to go on to the next. Yes, I am. I am. This is what a diabetic looks like. But yeah, I am. And I am making sure that I am fighting this head on because I got a long time to be around. And I'm not letting something of such thing get in my way. So no. So I'll be back. Take your break. Get something to drink. Or if you're going to surf the web, go ahead. Turn away from me and go and surf and be on somebody else's site. But I'll be back. see if anyone is still here. Okay, so someone is still here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh. Mom, I'm gonna remember you said that. I'm gonna remember you said that. I think I'm gonna have to go up here. Hold on 1 minute. Ella, stop it. Oh, okay. Whew. I appreciate the kind words. Let me say that. I got my tea. So, and it doesn't even taste like I got any sugar in here. But I learned that people can develop like parasites, yeah, inside them. So I'm not too fond of that. Not that I say I have any, because I have not passed something that looks like a parasite. But if I know that they live off of they can live inside, I want to eliminate what they can live off of. So there's pills that I ordered because I was listening to somebody else who had, said that they had passed the parasite, and they'll show you how to get rid of them. So we just gonna trust that I just slow down on the sugar. You know what I mean? I don't eat a lot of sugar, but it's even like, like with diabetes, people gotta watch like the sugar, they gotta watch the pasta, just certain foods. But like fruit and vegetables, it's, certain ones It's good for us, and we can eat a lot of them. I really, I'm not like, it's not like I don't work out, but I work. You know what I mean? Like I physically walk and stuff like that, and I just don't want to be a person that gives up on themselves. Yeah, that's just not me. That is not me. I want to be 95 and still hear somebody say, "You are so pretty." I still want to hear those words at 95. So, thank you so very much for your kind words. I do appreciate that. Let me get.
You went viral for laying.
Government shutdown. Trump's fault. Republicans to blame. Trump, in response, threatens to cut jobs. Hell of a thing. Here it is.
Can you assess what you're expecting in terms of the job cuts and how severe they could be?
Yes, the president and I have talked about this at great length. While a shutdown is very damaging for real American people who depend upon government services, it can provide an opportunity to downsize the scope and the scale of government, which is something that we've all always wanted to do. And so in a way, Chuck Schumer has now handed the keys to the kingdom to the executive branch under President Trump to do some things that we would not otherwise be able to do because we would never get Democrat votes for them. Now, Russ Vought is in charge, as you know, of the Office of Management and Budget, and it is his responsibility to look at all of this and make very difficult choices.
Diabolical. See, this was their plan. He's telling you their plan. Put it up full mass. We talked about this on Indisputable. The federal government has now officially shut down. Once again, the number one employer of black people in the United States is the federal government itself. It was already effectively shut down in many corridors of agency prior to this official shutdown. So the speaker, Mike Johnson, is gloating over the adverse condition that has come to many Americans by calling it an opportunity for the Trump
I'm sorry,
administration
Joe.
to
What do you mean?
downsize the federal government. Congressional Democrats demand healthcare policy changes that Trump and Republicans refuse to implement. So understand what's happening. Healthcare policy changes that benefit actual people. Remember, policies are connected to people. So these individuals are bragging about the opportunity to downsize the government, even though they have been effectively and de facto downsizing the government since Trump got back into office. But have your taxes been congruent to that downsizing? Are you paying less in taxes? Are they talking about you paying less in taxation? Hell no, not at all. So wait a minute. You have less government services. You have a decrease of government employees. You have a decrease of government maintenance because of the government buildings that are no longer occupied. But you're still paying an enhanced government tax.
We shouldn't be paying a government tax.
Tariff. President Donald Trump told reporters that he may lay off, quote, vast numbers of federal workers and eliminate programs in a looming federal shutdown.
And what is
White
that
House
going to
Office of
make
Management
that
and
president
Budget
look like?
had asked agencies for plans to lay off workers rather than simply furlough them. That's what the typical plan would be, furlough. As in past shutdowns, Trump blamed Democrats for layoffs looming at midnight, September 30th.
Republicans always
Democrats.
wanted to
Quote,
blame the
We can
Democrats.
do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people and cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office they're taking a risk by having a shutdown. Put the picture back up again. I'm going to say the quote one more time. We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them. Like
Don't
cutting
these
vast
people
numbers of
know?
people and cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they.
My thing is, don't these people know that I don't care what position you have. I don't care what position you have. You will fall one day. It might not be you per se. It might be somebody tied to your family line. But that will happen. Because there's only so much that God's going to allow. There's only so much that He's going to allow before He shows His true hand to the devils. Who are the devils, you say? Look at them. The ones who don't care about the fellow American people. The ones who wants to sit up here and, oh, we're going to cut this and we're going to do away with that. That's not love thy neighbor. That doesn't say love thy neighbor nowhere. Nowhere on those words. Cut this. Take these jobs. Does that say love thy neighbor? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I hope none of these jokers who sits over there in that black house think that they could sit up in their quote unquote Catholic church and think, oh, everything's groovy. No, everything is not groovy. And what you doing, you're going to have to pay for. Because you had your hand in the mess as well. Might not be them, it might be their children that might have to pay. Who knows?
No need to even fight these guys or whatever. Trump is only going to do A, B, and C. But now they have
Have you
given you
noticed
another
though?
offer at negotiation that's just as insane as the one before. What makes Republicans believe, what made Trump believe that you would say yes to this? Well, because you said yes to all of the other insane negotiations prior. You buckled under Trump 1 in year 1. Remember the 35-day
We're in trouble.
shutdown?
Here's to we're in
What comes
trouble.
next? In the Democratic Party, the pressure is now on Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. More members, to keep more members from yielding to the GOP pressure campaign to support their 7-week funding bill and agree to negotiate later on the Obamacare subsidies. Remember, they're not doing replace, they're simply taking it away. That task will become tougher with every day of the shutdown, particularly as Trump has threatened to cancel programs favored by Democrats. Inside the party, there's growing concern about the damage that the White House Budget Office could cause across the country that can easily be reversed by Congress. Asked if he's concerned that the White House could do permanent damage to the government. Senator Sheldon, White
And
House
you know
spokesman,
what?
and of course,
And everybody who voted that man in that black house over there,
charge.
they
We're going to talk to you about the jobs that will be affected in just a moment by this madness. I want you to
They
think
ought
about
to be
the
ashamed.
scenario here. it's quite traditional. Trump is the villain. The villain
No, Trump is one of the
uses the
devils.
people as leverage to get the superhero to buckle to the villain's demand. Because the superhero still gives a damn about the people. We've seen this in movies about superhero villain aspects since movies
The
have been created.
Joker.
So
That was
now
one.
instead of Trump going after elected politicians,
Mm-hmm.
he's going after the everyday person, threatening to cut their jobs,
Ain't that
threatening
crazy?
to stop their livelihood, threatening to cut off their health care, and threatening not only them, but their children and their children's children and their children's children's children. And he calls it irreversible. So his threat is now against you as a leverage to get his power play back on the books. That's where we are. Now, I'm not.
They don't
calling
want to talk about that
Democrat
Epstein
superheroes,
file, but they need to.
but compared to Trump,
They don't want to talk
damn near
about the
everybody's a
34
superhero.
felony counts that he has
Who
against
would
him,
think to do something
but they
like
need
this?
to.
And say it out loud and not be challenged by the press corps when they do so.
We don't have no true people.
Whose job will be impacted? Put it up.
Not really. True
Considered essential,
people.
while others who are considered essential will have to keep working and reporting to work. Many will not get paid until the government reopens. So about 750,000 federal staffers who earn a total of roughly $400 million each day could be furloughed. That's according to the Congressional Budget Office. It noted that the figure could change if the shutdown is prolonged. Put him up, the Director of Management and Budget. This is Trump's controversial pick. Russ Vought has been hit with a lawsuit to block him from using the shutdown for mass firings. Furthermore, the suit noted that this director has specifically used the threats of layoffs as a threat to extort Democratic members of Congress to back off their condition for a resolution keeping the government open, which is to extend funding for healthcare subsidies that will expire this
This is
year,
a shame.
drastically raising premiums for millions of people on Affordable Care Act plans. So they don't get rid of it by a law, they get rid of it by making it cost prohibitive. This is to stop you from being healthy, stop you from living longer.
Well,
stop
they
you
trying
from
to kill
having
us
the same
anyway.
access to health care as they have.
Who needs the health care when the health care is, you know what I mean? They want to keep you on meds so you can keep coming to the doggone
Grio, reporting
doctor's
on how the
office.
government shut down. We're having to fight over the Medicaid impacts on Black Americans. Black Americans stand to suffer disproportionately if there is a shutdown, as their share of the federal workforce is higher than their representation of the total population.
Hospitals going to be
Don't think Trump knows
closing.
that. Not to mention Black
Nursing
federal workers
homes
have
gonna be
already taken the hit
closing.
after the Trump administration's mass layoffs and firings that have already happened pre-government shutdown, as we have talked about on this program. There's more. The Black unemployment rate has sharply increased in recent months. I said this would happen on day one of Trump's presidency. Reached 7.5%. Black women have especially seen a surge in job losses, which has been attributed to President Trump's purging of the federal workforce. Once again, we said this would happen on Indisputable on day one. Now you have the numbers. My point to you is it's not by accident, it's by design.
Oh, yeah. I believe it. I
And when
believe
you
they
have
plotted for this.
intentional construction, which is your design, you must have an intentional deconstruction by design. That is the reason why you have diversity, equity, and inclusion and access programs.
Well,
because they are meant to
I'll say this.
specifically deconstruct
Don't
the
find
adverse
it.
construction that has been created.
Don't find it.
Quote, Trump and Republicans in Congress want to leave Black families uninsured or burden them with more expensive bills so that billionaires and corporations can get a tax break, said Chiquita Brooks LaSure, former administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. CNN experts stunned as Democrats are ranking in support in shutdown fight. What?
Is Republicans have always been willing to basically say, you know, we should shut down the government and stand on principle. But now Democrats, a significantly larger portion of Democrats say, you know what, let's stand on principle. What Democrats want a pre-shutdown? You go back to 2013, just 18% of Democrats said stand on principle. The vast majority, 76%, 3 in 4 Democrats said compromise, no shutdown. Look at this side of the screen. Look at this percentage that said stand on principle back in 2013, it was 18%. Now it's 47%, more than double. In fact, nearly triple the percentage of Democrats now say stand on principle as compared to 2013. We see a much more even split among Democrats. The 52% who say compromise, no shutdown, the 47% who say stand on principle, within the margin of error of each other, what we're seeing is a Democratic Party that is much more so than ever before saying, you know what, let's shut down the government, even if it means no compromise, so that we can stand on principle.
Stand on principle.
Stand on principle.
We should have been doing this from the beginning. If we stood on principle, Senator Nina Turner
Jeffrey, thank
would be
you.
indisputable. She'll be a member of Congress. If we
And
stood on principle,
Haywood said, you look a little
Trump would
heavy,
not be in the White House.
boo.
President
Pictures can be
Kamala
so
Harris
deceiving.
if we stood on principle.
I'm very close up to my phone, so
But
no,
we didn't,
I'm not heavy.
and we are. So here's the principle. The principle is there's a fight for the continuing soul of this nation. The principle is that during the 60s, Rosa Parks needed that bus.
That's right.
So did the people who boycotted for a year. And they decided to walk to work.
I know
Decided
that's
to
right.
ride with each other when they could. Carpool.
Yep. Yep.
They decided to make sure their children and grandchildren did not touch one of those buses in that year because they stood on principle. It inconvenienced them, yes. It was more expensive, yes. But it was worth it.
That's
I'm
what
not
we
saying
need to
We
do.
have to always do it this way.
No,
But if there's any other time where it needs to be done,
it needs to be done now.
this is the time.
That's
All
right.
right, Senator, thoughts here.
That's right. It needs to be done
not
now.
so much to unpack there. I'm amen in everything that you said, especially if they stood on principle. I would be Congresswoman Nina Turner
Yes.
right now. But we're gonna put that all up in the parking lot to be pulled out at any moment.
Yes, that's right.
And the job cuts that you're talking about, 750,000 federal workers right now are on unpaid leave. These are people who need their paychecks. There's about 141 million Americans who live in poverty. That's almost half of Americans right now. And you got a president that is playing games, as you laid out, Doc, with the livelihoods of everyday working class people in the United States of America. I love your superhero villain example that you gave, and the underscore that you're not necessarily painting the Democrats as the superheroes, because I just want to remind our audience that the Democrats had ample opportunity to do some things that would have almost guaranteed that we would not be in this position. They
That's
didn't
right.
do them. And I gotta always say that because we need to remind folks that we gotta demand more, and that's good to see that polling. The Democrats are finally saying, stand your ground.
Yeah,
your
stand your ground. That's right.
319,000 Black women have been laid off even prior to these antics right now, making it very, very clear where the Trump administration stands when it comes to Black people, and it's particularly Black women. As Speaker Johnson said out of his own mouth that these firings are a gift, saying the quiet part out loud. They wanted to do this from the beginning, and now they're going to try to blame it on the Democrats.
And they
the
can't blame it
Democrats
on the
should not
Democrats.
allow them to blame them. This is the Republican shutdown. Doc, my stunt double put something on Twitter today that I just want to share with our audience, because I agree with her Republicans want us to believe that the Democrats, who couldn't even raise the minimum wage when they held the House and the Senate, are somehow so powerful right now that they can shut down the government when the Republicans hold all the power. Make no mistake about it. This is the Republicans' shutdown. This is cruel. This is a sick attack
It is.
on the American people.
On the American
all
people.
Political affiliations. You and I are not. We talking about the people. So I don't care how you voted.
Yep.
You are part of the working class. This is going to hurt you. And yes, Black Americans always suffer disproportionately in situations like this. This is really a shame. And just the cavalier attitude that the president has right now about, oh, well, you know, we're going to just start firing.
Exactly.
Yes,
His attitude is really what
And it's because he's
makes
not
me
touched
sick.
by this. He's not in the socioeconomic arena.
But you know what?
Friends he has.
My
So
thing is
family
this.
Close to him.
My thing is this. You know, do unto others as you want done unto you. Those words are said and they mean something. Okay? You cannot expect to always be riding on cloud nine all the time. Somehow, some way, even those Republicans are going to be in a valley somewhere. Somewhere in their life, there's going to be a valley. And if they don't be ever so careful, things could really turn worse for some of them. I mean, some of them, sickness could come upon them. They could lose millions of dollars. Family members could start dying. So don't always think just because they look like they got the upper hand that they really got the upper hand. Because I don't believe nobody really has the upper hand unless God allows it. Because I choose God. God is still in control of everything. Everything. So let's not forget that. He could be allowing this to happen because they're supposed to be, want people to wake up. Are people woke?
If you have multiple people in your household, I want you to let me know in the comments what you're spending on average per month on groceries. And let's compare that to this official USDA Thrifty Food Plan target budget for August 2025. I find these really interesting. It's like peeking behind the curtain to see what the government thinks is a feasible thrifty food plan. And to clarify, these aren't just random numbers they put out there and it doesn't really mean anything. This is in part what they use to estimate food stamp budgets. On that note, let's dive into it. You have the age of the people in your household, then you have the weekly cost and the monthly cost. And what this bottom number here is for a family of 4, that's 2 adults, a man and a woman with 2 children between the ages of 6 and 11, they're estimating $1,000 for their thrifty food plan that they describe as nutritious, practical, and cost effective. And whether your household spends more or less, I think we can all agree that suggesting $1,000 for a family of 4 as a thrifty, cost-conscious budget,
it's ridiculous.
I would say this is probably correct, which is scary. A lot of families are spending about this per month for a family of 4. There are plenty spending more and plenty spending less. I would say the family spending less.
I tell you, I don't know what to even think about these people. I just don't. So what are we to think? What are we to think? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Somebody come up with some terrific idea on what do we do? What is the American person to do now? Y'all gotta excuse my boxes up there and everything. They ain't gonna fall down or nothing like that, but they're up there. Let's strategize. Let's talk about it. Jeffrey, come on. What are we to do now that we are in a shutdown? This is where the good ideas that come from, the true hard workers get out. We got TikTok over here, and we got YouTube over here. So I'm just curious to know, what are we to do? What should the person who's sitting at home, who lost their job, should be thinking now? I will wait. I'm really interested in hearing what some people got to say. I'm just going to be sipping on my lemon juice because parasites I know don't really particularly care for lemon juice. So I will just be drinking some lemon juice by itself. But I'm still waiting for answers. What is the American people, now that we're facing with this shutdown that your president put us in, your president, what is the American people to do? How creative are we supposed to be getting now? Okay? When it was COVID, everybody was in the house. Oh my gosh. I have not drunk no lemon juice by itself in such a long time. So I'm serious, guys. Let's hear it. What should we be thinking about? It ain't COVID, but it's shut down. Got a lot of people who lost jobs. I say we stand. I say if we have to, we don't take public transportation. No. We have to carpool. You know? Start thinking about how things that you really don't need that will hurt them. Like the one lady said on the video. They boycotted and back in the day, that's what they did. They didn't drive no public transportation. Did nobody give their money to public transportation? They carpooled. They walked. I was trying to invite you in, Miss Diane. How are you? So I'm just curious because I'm sure it's not just hitting over here in Pennsylvania. I'm sure North Carolina is feeling some of the wrath of the government in the shutdown. I'm waiting to hear your ideas. What should the people, we the people, be thinking about doing now that we are in this shutdown? You can share the live out. That will help. Maybe some more people with some more ideas, get on here and say something. While I'm up here drinking this lemon juice straight. What should we be thinking about doing? I say X out the public transportation. We can start there. Carpool. If it ain't a far distance, or if it's a distance, hey, do it for a year. They did it back in the day. Why can't we do it now? It could work. Black people that have farms, we need to go and support them. We need to go and support Black people's farms. Buy our produce, our fruits, vegetables, stuff from there. Heck, some of us might go vegan. Lemon juice straight. Ugh. Nobody has nothing to say. Are you serious? No one has nothing to say. Nobody have no good ideas. Are we supposed to just sit back and just let the Republicans just keep doing what they're doing? I am shocked and appalled at my people on here. I guess I better drink some more lemon juice because there ain't nobody talking on here. Well, I would say look at where you're at in your area. What's in need? Who needs what? If you are thinking of getting in your own business or getting your business up and running, don't let what you see in the Black House discourage you. Continue to put your business together. Like I always hear people say, the government do need all kinds of stuff, everything. This lemon juice is just straight. This is lemon juice. I'm just drinking that straight. I don't know if I'm trying to get some people on here that wants to really like talk and have a good conversation. I don't know what I just pressed. I was trying to see if somebody wanted to come on live because I'm trying to hear what other people think. I was trying to let you join in. I'm learning this TikTok. YouTube, you're not saying nothing. Okay. I see where we're at. I see. Y'all must be tired. Y'all must be tired. I'm going to let y'all have that. Boss. I was hoping you would, you was going to come in. Let me see. Is Mr. Luke available? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good with the
Hey girl, do you guys smoke?
me.
Yeah. No. I'll drop you a follow for next time, okay?
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. That was so sweet. I like people like that. Let me see. Okay, I'm following her back. And plus she got a butterfly on her representing her. I love butterflies. Butterflies is me. So I was hoping to get some engaging conversation going on here, but don't nobody have nothing for the people. Like, you have no suggestions whatsoever to tell the common people, okay, maybe we ought to be doing this. Maybe we ought to be looking at, anything, and nobody's saying nothing. I just don't get it. Lemon juice, me and you just gonna have to be the one. Mm-mm-mm. Drinking this lemon juice straight. Hello. I really am shocked at you. YouTube and TikTok. Y'all go ahead and share the live out. Heart the screen up for me. At least you can do that. At least. I'm not on here talking about the good word. I'm not over here talking about the good word. Excuse me. I'm just shocked and appalled. Okay, guys. I'm gonna have to catch y'all on a better day because this is not the day. This is just not the day. Nobody has nothing that they want to share or have no good ideas to tell people to start thinking of this or look at it this way. And I'm just like, wow. We the people, have the power. But are you going to activate your power? Okay. Well, I got us. YouTube and TikTok, y'all must be just tired. And I'm going to let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. I'm going to let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. But I appreciate everybody who just, fumbled through or just found me on a whim and sat here and listened to what I was talking about. And surprisingly enough, y'all still quiet. Thank you for the hearts. Whoever gave me them hearts. Thank you. Aw. Do I say Clo? CLO? Thank you so much. He likes the live. Thank you. I'm not just, talking about just nothing. I'm trying to see what people think, like, what should the people be thinking about doing now that we're in this shutdown? Should we boycott like they did back in the day? Put some stuff that we can put our hands to, boycotting is good. Not using public transportation is good. Where does, you gotta look at where do they draw their revenue from? Transportation is a big one. Thank you for the hearts. I love hearts. Thank you so very much. Who is this just hearting up the screen? I love it. Thank you. I'm up here drinking lemon juice straight. Somebody needs to be joining this gentleman because he's giving me hearts. So we can get a couple other people to be hearting up this screen like nonstop. I would be just happy-go-lucky. Oh, did anybody ever drink lemon juice straight, or am I the only one? I'm probably the only one. It's okay. Because I do not thank you. I appreciate the hearts. I really, really do. Thank you so very much. Let me check you out and make sure I'm following you. Gotcha. Following you back. Wow. Okay. Everybody needs to go and follow. Am I saying it right? Clo? CLO. Y'all need to be following him. Everyone who's following me, y'all need to be following Clo. Let me see something. Well, invite was sent. Thank you, Chloe, for liking the live, hearting up the screen. I would love it if y'all would want to just share the live out, tell somebody to come and get on the live. If you know you got somebody who has is well versed and who could possibly help us think about like what we need to be doing next. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I have things set up right. I see people saying invite. Okay, here's a question from someone off of my YouTube. He says, hello, Jeremiah. What would you say to the whole world? What would I say to the whole world as of right now? With the situation and the shutdown? What would I say to the whole world? Today is the day to make something important happen. That's what I would say. Today is the day to make something important happen. And you have to be that person within all your scope of practice of what is it that you can do today that is important. Because who knows how long this shutdown is going to be. The Republicans, sad to say, but this is what they wanted. This is exactly what they wanted. And I don't know. Jeremiah said, good speech. I mean, it's nothing, it's nothing real big, but I would just say, really, value what's important to you. Value what is important to you. Because we're not getting time back. So once time is passed, it's done. Once people leave here, they're gone. Right? So value your time and value your family. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Biggs joined. Hi, Big. Come on, people, heart the screen up. Come on, I'm trying to conversate with some good conversational people now. Where are they at? I'm hoping they're out here. I'm hoping they're in the live. Somebody give me some. Let's talk about something. We ain't got to talk about what's going on in the Black House. We can talk about something else. Who's facing? Okay, I'm gonna just throw some stuff out there. Let's just see if we can get some people just to start talking. Who's facing a broken heart? Who's right now going through a broken heart right now? Okay. Who's facing eviction? Who's facing bad news from your doctor? Who cussed out a family member? Who still is denouncing the Lord Jesus Christ? Will not give no time to him. Who is doing that? Who is still doing the same old thing you did last year and the year before? Who has a game plan for your next year when it's uncertainty right now? So everything that I just answered right now, everything that I asked right now, nobody raised their hand. Nobody said me. So everybody must be good then. Okay. Okay. I really think that answering my questions right there. Really think that answers the questions. But as I said, I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Be encouraged. And just know For Not Forgotten Ministries is here. Okay? I love you. Be blessed. Wow. Well, okay. Y'all have a good night over here on YouTube.